Yo guys, what's going on? Kyle here with Davers Cards and Games. I'm here with Casey Smar.
What's up, guys?
We actually just, I think it might have been last week, we did a duel video with you, and it was against the True Draco player.
Yeah.
And the deck you were playing, which was the Pendulum deck, seemed like it was super consistent.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, request this deck. Why are you playing Pendulums at the beginning of this format?
So I was playing Orcus last format, and it just kind of lost a lot of its consistency and power. And I don't like Thunder that much, so I think this is just the most powerful, like, break my board style deck, and it's just super consistent, like you were saying. Okay,
awesome. Well, let's see what you played.
So there's a lot of different engines in this deck right now. So I've decided to play the Endymion engine. This is obviously one of the best cards in the deck because she can tutor out both Jackal and this boss monster, Endymion. And Endymion is just really good against Sky Striker, which is going to be a really prevalent deck this format. So when she gets 3 counters, she can just special summon anything that can have a spell counter on it. So she's also good for like helping you make Electromite and things like that as well. So that's one of the small engines that we play. We also played our Dark Worm engine. You know, this helps us with our Guardragon plays, obviously, helps us make Electromite, and just having free level 7s is really good for also like tutoring things like Absolute Dragon into Vortex as well. Just really good. We're playing a Pendulum deck full of extenders again, so Chronograph package is also necessary. This is a really good 8 scale sometimes. It's also just the extender and the Time Gazer. I hate drawing this card, it's so terrible. Like, it's worse than the Time Gazer Stargazer was in the last Pendulum format, like it's awful. The next card we play is the last extender. Sorry I don't have more of these, I had to borrow them from a friend. But it's Curtain Raiser, it's basically just Photon Thrasher for Pendulums, just trying to make Electromite, because if you get Electromite plus Dark Worm sitting next to it, that's pretty much a full Guardragon combo every time. It's also a good 7 scale, so we need high scales sometimes. The next pack we play is Magicians, Harmonizing. Everyone knows what this card does. It's just really insane. It's a tuner, just high scale everything, you know? And it helps make things like Boral Savage Dragon if you have enough monsters as well. Then we played a couple of extra Magicians. We played a Purple Poison, a Black Fang, a Dragon Caller, and a Dragon Pit. So these guys are just kind of our Pendulum Call targets, and also our Harmonizing targets. So if you're making something like Boral Savage, you use these, or if you're trying to make like Absolute or do other kind of rank 7 plays, you use these guys. This guy can help you when you don't see a dragon or Dark Worm, because he can make any monster a dragon. So that's how you make your Guardragon plays if you don't have those. And this is also just a good searchable out to Mystic Mine, which is a huge problem in this format.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I hate that card so much.
I just got back into it, and I'm sitting here looking like, why? This card's absurd. Like, they should never print that card.
I feel like it's worse than Emptiness, if I have to be honest.
I agree. 100% agree.
I played one Cerberus. A lot of people are just not playing this card anymore, but I think it's important sometimes because you either like open too many Endymion cards, or you just want to have just one good extender. This card's also really good going second against decks like Salamangreat, because you just banish their things that can't use Balinks or anything like that, and then you can just kill them with it really easily because it gains the attack. And we played one Jackal. You don't really want to draw this card. You mostly want to summon it off in the Servant of Endymion to protect yourself from hand traps and things like that. And it's just a really good all-around card for your inboard. And we played one Master Pendulum. This is just a target for a spell card that we'll play. It also is something you summon off Ignister, which we all know is a really good, powerful card going second as well. In the Pendulum Mirror, Ignister is also insane. So it can also help with your Guardragon plays. It's just a level 4 dragon. It's also a low scale that's searchable, so that's why we play it over Luster. And then this is my Heraldic Link target to summon when I tribute it. This is Aether. When it's summoned, it banishes any monster on the field. Its scale is not very good, but I feel like it's just better than the Amorphages right now, because sometimes you just want to put pressure and like kill their board, because most of the time they're going to be able to attack over the Amorphage that you summon anyway. So you're really just wasting their battle phase. And this kind of is recurring, like you can use it every turn, so it's better, I think. And then Destrudo, this is my LP target most of the time. I thought about playing Tempest because there's like cool combos you can do with that, but it just felt like this card was better in the end, because making Dawn Dragster really helps against things like Mystic Mine and Striker, which are going to be more powerful this format, I think. So that's it for the monsters. And we start off with 3 Spell Power Masteries. This card's Rhoda for all the Endymion cards. It's also a power card. If you open this in Servant, it makes it one less spell that you have to activate, and then Servant is live. So it's just a really good card. Mid-game, it can be really good if you already have spell counters up, because then you can search Endymion and just blow up their whole field. And like a lot of decks just don't have an out to the scale effect because they have to negate it on activation, and people forget sometimes. So it's just a good, really good consistency card. Then we play just a lot more spells to help out with Servant and getting her to resolve. So Duelist Alliance by itself will resolve Servant because you'll activate this, Pendulum Call, and then the scale you search off Pendulum Call, so that's 3 for the Servant. And then this can also search Master Pendulum, which is a searchable low scale if you don't have a card to discard for Pendulum Call sometimes. And then obviously opening Pendulum Call Darkworm is insane, and then searching Harmonizing is really important for your combos, so that's why we play this. I wouldn't play 3 because like breaking on both of these is kind of bad because you need all your cards to play sometimes with Pendulum, and then just this getting hit by Ash sometimes can be really awkward. And then we play just 3 cards to send dragons. Just putting Darkworm in the grave obviously is insanely good, and then sometimes in your combos you can send Destrudo if you need to, maybe if your LP gets stopped, something like that. So these are just helpful starter cards. The 1-up start, not really playing 40 cards, but it's just an extra spell for Servant.
Life points don't matter in the game anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Once they look at my board, most people scoop anyway, so like it's fine. We played 2 Desires. I kind of thought about playing Allure over this card, but I felt like the +1 sometimes is just really necessary for this deck, especially when you're going second. You just need that extra card to either push through someone's board or to make an even better board to play, especially in sided games. So I thought it was necessary. And then we played 3 Call by the Graves. Now this is kind of controversial. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't play this card, but this is a combo deck to me. I feel like this is just a kind of lesser ceiling of Thunder Dragon, but it still makes an insane board, and it can play this card because it's a spell for Servant, and you don't like, as long as you get your like LP or your Electromite to resolve, like I feel like the game's over. So that's why I like to play it. Alright, and then the main deck is 43 cards in total. We'll go to our extra deck. Shoutouts to Jafar and Black Adam. So for our extra deck, we played 1 Electromite. Obviously, we can only play 1. Like I said, if this card resolves with Darkworm down here and any extra monster, it's the full combo. You'll end on at least your Vortex Dragon and the Hieratic Link. And obviously, if you have more monsters, you just make more negates. This getting hit by Ogre is still really bad, so sometimes you just kind of have to play around that, but there are ways to do that. Then we play our Guardragons. We played LP, Pisty, and Agar Pain. This one doesn't come up as often, and I need to learn some more combos with Ignister for this one, but it's still kind of relevant sometimes, just like turn 2 maybe, or going second to kind of use it with Ignister to kind of kill some problem cards. These guys kind of escaped on the ban list, I think, and they're going to be running rampant at least until October, so we'll see what happens then. Then we played obviously our Hieratic Seal. This guy's just a really good non-targeting removal. He can summon your dragons, you know, afterwards when he's tributed. And there's some cool plays you can do with this with another card in my extra deck, this Absolute Dragon here, where if you end on this guy with Absolute Dragon, you can protect him from battle like Hope Harbinger with this, because this negates attacks. And then whenever you need to, you can tribute this and spin something, and then you can summon Vortex Dragon once this goes to the graveyard. And so it's kind of the same thing where Vortex Dragon, when it's summoned, it's removes an attack position monster from the field. So I think sometimes that combo is just better because it's also a Veiled Negate that they can't interact with something like Impermanence or Sphere Mode. So like this, the board where you end with this and this is a lot better against Sphere Mode, which a lot of people are citing. Then we played another Link 2 in B-Cop. This could be B-Cop, Wee Witch, or Psy-Frame Gear Lambda. Any of them work. You just need double down pointing arrows. When you want to play around Ogre, you make this instead of Electromite if your hand is good enough, so that you don't lose your Link arrows, because those are the most important things for the combos. We played Triple Burst. It's just a dragon that points down. Link 3, just obvious need for the Guardragon combos. This is also really good against Sky Striker sometimes, because you just try to kill their Ray. Boral Sword, just for OTKs in general. This is mostly something you make turn 2 or going second just to kill them. Saryuja, sometimes if your hand is good enough, you can get the draw 4 effect, and this kind of replaces your triple burst at the top. And we played a couple synchros. We played Dawn Dragster. This is just for Destrudo plays mostly. And we played Boral Savage Dragon. This is just a really strong negate that you can make with Harmonizing Magician. And then we played Ignister. You can summon this off of Agar Pain, going second if you need to, if you're trying to kill them somehow, or you can just make it hard with Harmonizing Magician. And then our last card is Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. This is just an obvious target for Agar Pain as well. I honestly didn't know that this also had an effect where if you deal battle damage, you can bring back a tuner from the grave. And so like sometimes you just bring back Destrudo and then do like some crazy plays with it as well.
That's just kind of neat.
Yeah. Right. And that is it.
Do you think this deck has a spot in the meta going forward?
Definitely. I think it's probably one of the top like 3 or 4 decks right now. Sky Striker, it has a pretty good matchup against unless they put mine on the board. They just have a really hard time dealing with the Endymion guy and going second against the full board. And against Thunder, it's just kind of a die roll. You know, whoever gets to combo off first wins the match.
Okay.
So I think it's in that kind of echelon of decks right there in the top 3 or 4.
Well, that's good. Hopefully people will try this deck out and you start a new wave.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the deck profile. Hopefully we'll get more matches with you and see how, you know, how the deck can kind of transform over the format.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of like new combos all the time, different like dragon targets, things like that. I know a lot of people are playing like Brotar with Vanity's Fiend, things like that. So I definitely also want to try Appaloosa in the deck as well now that she's out.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, thank you again, Casey, and we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.